Deerfield Public Library's Twitch channel. I am Emily, and you are tuned in for Lunchtime Listens, Storytime for Adults. It's Pride Edition. I am wearing my Pride cardigan that I made for myself. So, yeah, I'm really excited to share with you some books. Every year in June, amazing new books come out. It's so fun. So I have a few I'd like to share with you today. We're going to start off with a nonfiction picture book called The ABCs of Queer History. So I have all sorts of fun history tidbits told in poetry format for each letter of the alphabet. So I'm excited to share these with you. We have The ABCs of Queer History. Words by Dr. Seema Yasmin. Pictures by Lucy Kirk. A is for abundant, because we are many. Our histories show we are diverse and plenty. From north and south, from here and there, queer people and queer stories are everywhere. A is for always, for we are not new. We have been here forever, since the sky has been blue. We hail from queer ancestors who were here long ago. We continue their journey, their legacy, we grow. You might be an ally, a friend who insists that every human has the right to exist. Let's pass on the word, keep our stories alive, and make sure that queer history, like us, will survive. B is for belonging, feeling safe without fear, in a world that reminds us we're beloved and dear. Being accepted as is and for all that we are makes us bold and empowered. We can sparkle like stars. B is for beautiful, words on the page that speak of our love, our ideas, our rage. There's power in words, in poems and songs. We find solace in books. They make us feel strong. When we write down our stories, when we tell them aloud, we invite you to share what makes us feel proud. Like Janet Mock said, spread the word, tell these facts, because sharing queer history is a radical act. It might take some courage, it might take some heart, but sharing our lives is a beautiful art. In the words of Bayard Rustin, be fearless, be you, live your life to the fullest, to your heart, to your own heart, be true. C is for celebrate. Won't you sing this song with me? I can love who I love. I am free to be me. D is for daring, being authentic and free. Delight in your life, say, there's no one like me. To be your full self, don't hide, look within. Love all that you are, feel at home in your skin. Dance through the house, on stage, through the streets. Be inspired by queer artists you now will meet. There's Josephine Baker, who shimmied and twirled, breaking down barriers as she danced through the world. Clara Smith sings songs of struggle and cheer, showing the crowd, through pain, we're still here. They were bisexual women who expressed their life through art. They demonstrated courage and danced into our hearts. Don't forget Chella Man, a dynamic pioneer, fearless in his truth as Asian, deaf, and queer, an actor, an activist, an artist, a star. Like Chella, dream big, be all that you are. E is for equality, meaning each person on earth should feel cared for and honored beginning at birth. We fight for fairness, and it's been a long fight. Queer people, like all, deserve equal rights. E is for everyone, leave no person behind. Open your heart, respect, and be kind. Pronouns and identities are nothing to fear. They are letters and words that make ourselves clear. F is for family, both chosen and born, who love and embrace us, our bonds can't be torn. The families we make or grow into at last guide us as we travel down life's many paths. It's not always easy to see where we belong when the world seems designed for just one kind of song. But when we find family who love us from head to toe, the whole world opens up, love and acceptance will know. Sometimes our friends offer strength and support, like fantastic poet Pat Parker and Audre Lorde. They wrote each other letters to cheer and uplift, because friendship is a blessing, a beautiful gift. F is for fluid, because we change with time. You don't have to pick labels, you can fluctuate like the tides. Move freely through life, explore all you can be. No need to hold back, flow on like the sea. G is for groundbreaking, like those we hold high. Innovators who said, the limit's the sky. From science and music to fashion and arts, they lead by example with faith in their hearts. G is for great, like Barbara Jordan, the first queer United States Congresswoman. Although many told her it could never be done, she believed in herself, she fought, she won. G is for gallant, like athlete Michael Sam, who said, I'm not afraid to tell the world who I am. A sportsman at heart and inspiration to many, he inspired millions by speaking out bravely. H is for hope, as Harvey Milk said, hope will never be silent, like fire, it must be fed. As an activist and leader for human rights, Harvey was a politician, not scared of a fight. Though hurdles were many, he strove for justice and supported a bill to outlaw prejudice. I is for imagination and the new path ahead. We create a better world with the words that we spread. Words like innovate and ideal, include and inspire, help us lift one another to reach higher and higher. J is for joy that we seek every day in the memories of loved ones who paved the way. Like author James Baldwin, who wrote his life on each page, an honest illustration of queer stories on stage. And the plays of Lorraine Hansberry, a lesbian writer, who is also an artist, an activist, a fighter. J is for jazz, sounds of rhythm and blues. Bessie Smith sang with a voice filled with stories and truths. Tony Jackson played piano so the crowds could get down. They would boogie and spin, smiles emerged from frowns. K is for knowledge, the power of facts, because knowing your truth will help you fight back against hateful old stories and myths that are spread to silence queer people, to hurt and oppress. Knowing our histories means we understand why our identities are feared and our books are banned. This knowledge is power. It helps us resist. We can call out the truth and on justice insist. K is also a call to keep your head high, no matter the hate and no matter the lies. When you know who you are and all that you stand for, you can spread your wings wide and up high you can soar. L is for love. Can you spell it with me? Each letter involves a lesson, you'll see. L is for liberty, which means to be free, because love feels like sailing on the warm open seas. O is for options, to love who you please. Love means choosing your happiness, living with ease. V is for vibrant, valued, and venture, because love is a colorful, precious adventure. E is for elated, we revel in bliss. When love fills our hearts, there's no feeling like this. I like how there's like an acrostic poem in an acrostic poem, sort of. Very meta. M is for the freedom to marry who you please, a right that was granted after many centuries. Queer people were treated badly, punished, and denied. They were told their love was wrong, given laws to abide. One day in June, in the highest of courts in the land, decided all marriage should be celebrated, no gay marriage banned. Marriage is a right that we fought for and won, but don't close your eyes, this fight is not done. Marriage isn't for everyone, it's not always the goal. For the sake of justice we shout, marriage equality for all. Stand tall, speak up, celebrate each victory, and keep working together to make history. N is for notable, like the legendary figure Marsha P. Johnson, whose voice never quivered when telling the world that all humans are equal, that we must fight for the rights of transgender people. And Sylvia Rivera, who was loud and defiant when transgender people were asked to be quiet. She said all types of queer people deserve to speak. Together we're stronger, but divided we're weak. O is for the optimists that we must be, like Storme Delavari, who said, "We will be free." In a suit and a bow tie, speaking openly and loud, demanding lesbian rights, she was out and proud. O is for Oshtish, who was a brave and headstrong when colonizers said her way of life was wrong. Invaders insisted Native people change their ways, but Oshtish practiced her traditions she refused to obey. O is for outspoken. There are so many we've seen, like actors George Takei, a legend on screen. He endured discrimination in its many forms. By being himself, stereotypes were transformed. P is for pride. When we take to the streets, come join our parade, come follow our beat. It's a festival, a party, we hold hands and sing loud. We dress in our best, dance, laugh, and feel proud. But pride is more than one day a year. It's being our truest self and casting out fear. Pride is waking up every day and saying, I celebrate me. Pride is looking in the mirror and loving what you see. Q is for queens of our heart of the light, a glorious tradition, oh what a sight. Strutting on stage, sachet, sachet, RuPaul is an icon drag queen who paved the way. Drag is more than a spectacle, it's more than a scene. Drag is one way of saying we're here to be seen. We can dress how we want, different from the rest. With flair and pizzazz, we turn up as our best. R is for reminisce, rejoice, and renew for the truths of queer lives before me and you. Never forget the struggles, the hurdles, the fights. Remember their names, in their triumphs delight. R is for rock star. There's one you must know for his remarkable lyrics, his rhythm, his flow. Lil Nas X is a world renowned. He rocks out on stage till the crowd is spellbound. Rock stars and rebels, there are many to revere. We respect when they say, we're here and we're queer. S is for Stonewall, the historic protest. Thousands gathered in the streets with a simple request. Treat queer people with dignity, treat us with respect. Let the laws of the land safeguard and protect. Before that day, a movement had been looming, but that summer morning, there was an uprising. The police smashed into a bar called the Stonewall Inn and confronted queer patrons partying within. The Stonewall attack spurred queer people to shout after years of demanding their rights to be out. The battle wasn't new, and it still isn't won, but Stonewall signaled the start. A new era had begun. T is for trailblazers, and queer people have plenty. Janelle Monáe, Blair Imani, and Jackie Moms Mabley. They paved us a path toward a future of choices. We salute their courage, their vision, their voices. When Sally Ride was a child, she dreamed of soaring to the stars. At school, she studied science, learned of Jupiter and Mars. Then one day her dream came true, and her mission she would face as the first American woman to jet into space. Charlie Parkhurst was a rancher who was unafraid of danger. To wild horses, thieves, and deserts, Charlie was no stranger. Riding up and over mountains, moving cash and precious gold, Charlie's tales of adventure will never get old. U is for the ways we unite to be strong. Despite our many differences, we all belong. Uniting our voices means we're still unique, but stronger together as justice we seek. Elliot Page said that we must understand to accept one another, so let's join hands. Uniting means coming together to say queer people exist and are here to stay. When allies join with us, we're greater in force. We protest together to become one loud voice. Under one umbrella, we march for queer rights. With respect for our differences, for fairness, we fight. V is for vital, as queer people are. Our contributions help the world and take us far. Alan Hart was a doctor who found new ways to help sick people using x-rays. V is for vision, to see all that can be when we imagine a world where queer people are free. Vision means learning lessons from the past and building a future that's inclusive and vast. W is for writing stories and plays, like Tennessee Williams, who gained lots of praise, including not one, but 2 Pulitzer Prizes for tales packed with drama, action, and surprises. W is for winning, what battles we've won. The right to marry, have jobs, to love, and have fun. But in too many places, sadness hangs in the air, which is why we must work to make the world fair. Wonder to yourself, how can we all be free? What changes can I make? Because change starts with me. X is for X-gender, which comes from Japan, an identity that is neither woman nor man. Gender is a spectrum. It's not binary. If you are free to choose your own identity, some say this is wrong, that there are only 2 options exist. But as long as we live, this idea we resist. Nowadays you might hear words like non-binary, queer, two-spirit, and GNC. That stands for gender nonconforming, which is to say, you don't have to follow, you can make your own way. Y is for you and the choices you make, to live a life of compassion, to learn from mistakes. You can join our community and march for our rights, because equality is a must. It's everyone's fight. You have the power to make the world fair. You can make choices that show that you care. You can wake up each morning and smile and say, I will fight for queer rights today and every day. Z is for zero tolerance, which means we won't stand for hatred wherever it's seen. There's no room for prejudice, homophobia, or bias. We should all be valued. Respect should be the highest. Z is for a zillion queer stories Z is for a zillion queer stories as old as the earth. In your hands is one droplet. There's much more to learn. An ocean of stories, a galaxy of sagas, wisdom and adventures, escapades, and drama. Z is for zeal, which you have plenty, to share all you know about these queer histories. So go into the world and share these stories, tales of hope and activism, tales of legends and glory. And that is the end. There is a lot of really amazing back matter here. I highly recommend if you have a kid in your life that you want to start introducing queer history to, this would be a great place to start because the back matter has their citations sorted for every single alphabet letter, and you can find out more about every single person that was listed here. You can find other ways to talk about this type of thing. And yeah, that is the end. That is the the ABCs of queer history. All right. Whew. So now I would like to tell you about a graphic novel I really like. I seem like I talk graphic novels mostly. I know sometimes I tell you about a chapter book, but I tend to read graphic novels a lot more than chapter books. And so I have a new-ish one. This came out, I don't know, a few months ago maybe? It might have been last year at this point. Anyways, this is called Stars in Their Eyes. It's a graphic novel by Jessica Walton and Aska. So this is a really fun graphic novel about Maisie. And Maisie, as you can see, is a above-the-knee amputee. So she is super excited because she's a really big nerd and she's gonna go to her first fan con ever. And she's like so excited for it because not only is it her first fan con she's ever been to, but on top of it, her absolute idol, an action star who also has an above-the-knee amputation, just like Maisie, is gonna be there, and Maisie's gonna meet her, and she's just so excited. It's gonna be the best day ever, right? But then she meets Ollie, and Ollie is a cute volunteer working the show. They geek out together about nerd culture. Ollie's non-binary and starts to teach Maisie a little bit about that and what that means to them. And they basically just spend the whole day at the con together, running around, doing all sorts of fun comic convention things. If you like going to comic book conventions, you are going to love this book. I am trying to find the page where they do it, but it's hilarious to me because sometimes, you know, they can't do stuff that's copyrighted in some of these books, so they have, instead of like, no, I can't find it. All right. So like, instead of like calling it like Star Wars, it's like Space Battles or something like that. So like, there's all sorts of really awesome nerdy references in here that like are slightly disguised that I think that if you're into comic conventions and stuff like that, you'll catch a bunch of them and you're really going to enjoy it. The art is just so good. I really like the coloring, and I think that the characters themselves are very dynamic and just come to life on the page. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Oh, here's the page I was looking for. So the mom is asking what should she dress up for at the convention? Should she be the space captain, which like is meant to be a Star Trek reference, or the Time Doctor, which if you're a Doctor Who fan, this is just the funniest thing ever, especially because the Time Doctor is holding an actual screwdriver in the illustrations. So that literally made me laugh out loud. It is a really fun time. It's called Stars in Their Eyes. I actually brought my own copy in because my copy, the copy that the library owns, is checked out right now, but you could get put on hold and be the next person to check it out and read it and let me know what you think about it. It's really good. It's called Stars in Their Eyes. All right, let's see. I'm going to read this one now. This is a biography. It's very, very good. It came out a few years ago now. This one is called If You're a Kid Like Gavin. And this is important because it is written by Gavin Grimm, the subject of the story, and Kyle Lukoff, with illustrations by Jay Yang. I just love the end papers. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. If you're a kid like Gavin, what are some choices that kids get to make? If you're a kid like Gavin Grimm, you can choose which way you ride your bike. To eat worms on a dare, or to say no thanks. To listen to your mom when she says you can't have any pets. or to sneak a frog into your room anyways. But what are some choices that kids don't get to make? If you're a kid like Gavin Grimm or any other kind of kid, you don't get to choose who you are. You don't choose your color, your skin color, or your parents, or where you grew up. And if you're a kid like Gavin Grimm, you don't choose if you're a boy or a girl. If you're transgender like Gavin Grimm, you might choose to talk about it. To tell your family, I know you thought I was a girl, but I'm really a boy on the inside. To say, I can't keep the name you gave me, we have to pick a new one. To be honest about who you are. If you're a kid like Gavin Grimm, then you'll go to school as yourself, a boy, a transgender boy. And then there will be another choice you have to make. In some places, it's not much of a choice because every bathroom is for everyone. But at Gavin's school, boys use the boys' bathroom and girls use the girls' bathroom. Since Gavin is a boy, he knew where he should go, but he needed to make sure that he would be safe from stares, from whispers, from rumors, or worse. So he is going into the bathroom at the nurse's office instead. Oop. Try to get to focus again. Hello? It's like so blurry all of a sudden. There we go. All right, there we go. Months passed by. Gavin kept going to school as himself. No one seemed to mind. So instead of using the nurse's bathroom like someone who was sick, he wanted to start using the boys' bathroom like someone who was just a boy. The principal said it was okay, and that should have been the end. But if you're a kid like Gavin Grimm, there might be people who don't think that's the end. A teacher at Gavin's school started to gossip about him, telling other adults that he was really a girl and that girls shouldn't be allowed in the boys' bathroom, saying that he should be stopped, that he should be forced to use the girls' room, and maybe that he shouldn't even be at school at all. If you're a kid like Gavin Grimm, you'll be terrified and embarrassed and feel so alone. Gavin was laughed at and bullied and called all sorts of awful names. And when he found out that his school was going to meet to talk about what they should do, where he should go, there was another big choice to make. Gavin chooses to speak up for himself. He went to the meeting at his school and told them where he belonged. He tried to make them see that he was just a kid, not a problem to be solved. It didn't work. But he still had a choice. He could have used the girls' bathroom, which didn't feel right, or he could have used the bathroom his school put into a closet, one that no other kid was forced to use. And he could have chosen to stay quiet. But when you're a kid like Gavin Grimm, you know the only choice you have is to fight back, to stand up for yourself, and your right to use the bathroom as yourself, and your right to be in school as yourself. These aren't choices that any kid should have to make. But if you're a kid like Gavin Grimm, it's the most important choice of all. He went on the news in his town, and then he was on the news everywhere, sharing his story, refusing to be silenced. He reached out to a group called the ACLU, and together they worked to get the laws on his side. He talked to other transgender kids with the same problems in their own schools and tried to help them too. Gavin is still working for people like him, for transgender children, adults, and anyone else who wants to live their lives without having to fight for something as basic as using the bathroom. There are so many choices that kids get to make, and so many more that they don't. But since you're a kid like Gavin Grimm, you can always decide to believe in yourself and fight for what you believe in. What is a choice that you're going to make? I also really love this one because it also has some back matter. It's got a very beautiful letter from Gavin Grimm and a short one from the other author, Kyle Lukoff, right here too. So this is, again, another beautiful book. I highly recommend checking it out. It is If You're a Kid Like Gavin. All right, I think I have time for one more. Let's do one final one. This one is another new one. It just came out like a month or two ago. This one is called Marley's Pride, and this is by Joelle Rettner and Deanne Wiley. This one is about a girl named... This one is about a person named Marley. Marley's Pride. Switch sides real quick. There we go. We got Marley's Pride. It is the first day of June and our house is bursting with excitement. Happy Pride, Marley! Zaza sings as they tap, clap, and snap their way up and down the halls. My grandparent loves Pride Month. The parades, the rainbow-themed brunches, the drag story times, they just can't get enough. But not me. When I think of the crowds and the loud noise, my tummy feels squirmy and my chest feels tight. It's like someone is squeezing me so hard that I can't breathe. Every year when June comes around, Zaza starts raving about the parade. It's gonna be so much fun. All our friends will be there. I can't wait to see who's performing. And every year, I find a reason not to go. Luckily, Zaza understands. Don't you worry, sugar. I'll bring you back something special, they say every time. The thing is, deep down, I really do want to go. When I'm alone, I pretend that I'm right there with Zaza, having a ball. This year, Zaza is getting an award for all of their work helping transgender folks like us. They will even get to ride on a float. I want to be there for all of it. If only I could figure out how to calm my nerves. On the morning of the parade, while Zaza is in their room getting fabulous, I head to the bathroom to give myself one last pep talk. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Breathe in, breathe out. Then I pack my essentials, noise-canceling headphones, my fidget spinner, and of course, my lavender bunny. Okay, ready, I say to myself. Welcome to Pride. We pull up at the parade and my mind starts racing. What if I get lost? What if people keep bumping into me? What if I can't find the bathroom? Zaza, I am so not ready. Just as I'm about to crawl under the car seat to hide, Zaza gives me a big bear hug, and I tell them all my worries. It's okay to be scared. If you want to turn back, we can head right on home. But remember, Marley, Pride isn't just a big old party. It's about celebrating who we are, about community and love. You belong here. You aren't doing this alone. I think about Zaza's words. Fitting in can be hard for me sometimes, like when I can't choose between the boys and the girls team, or when I'm the only kid who uses they, them pronouns. I look around and see gender-neutral bathrooms and people wearing all sorts of pronoun pins. I realize that things might be easier here. Okay, Zaza, I'll give it a try. As we make our way through the crowds, my hands are sweating. My heart is racing. When Zaza lifts me onto their shoulders, suddenly everything is different. I feel lighter, My heart stops thumping so hard. A gentle breeze and a cloud of bubbles kiss my cheeks. Finally, I can breathe. Up here, people look a little bit smaller, a little less scary. There's laughing, hugging, and so much singing happening all around me. Even the flags join the party as they dance and sway in the wind. It all seems so magical. After a while, I tap Zaza on the shoulder. I think I'm ready to come down now. We bump into some old friends, and we also meet a lot of new people. I'm Marley. I'm Zane. This is Stacy and Keisha. I love your pronouns pins, I say shyly. Thanks. Take one. I have tons of them at home, Zane insists as she hands me a few to choose from. My heart does a double backflip when I find a they pin. It's time for the parade. Zaza jiggles, wiggles, and shakes their entire body to the music. They dance and sing with our new friends as our float makes its way through the city. Before long, the float reaches the stage. That's when it hits me. I'm going to be alone while Zaza is presenting. Here come the butterflies in my tummy. Then something unexpected happens. Hey Marley, come and join us. We saved a spot just for you, Zane shouts as they wave me over. There are goosebumps all over my arms. I can't believe it. They really like me. Good luck, Zaza, I call out as I run to join Zane, Stacy, and Keisha. Zaza steps up to the podium to get their award. Then they share their story. They talk about the joys of opening our home to those in need and helping those transitioning. They also remember Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, and other brave transgender heroes who weren't afraid to stand up for the trans community. People are clapping, cheering, and even crying. They're amazing. They're such an inspiration. Wait, are they all talking about my Zaza? I get warm all over, and my heart feels bigger. It swells and swells until it feels like it might burst out of my chest. I run over and give Zaza a huge hug. You had quite a day, Marley. How are you feeling? Zaza asks with a smile. Today was a little scary and kind of hard, but it was also amazing. Finally, I understand why Zaza loves Pride. It might be loud and crowded, and people definitely bump into you a lot. But this is my community, my family. This is where I belong. No matter how I choose to celebrate, my feelings about Pride and myself won't change. Zaza, I say, gazing out over the cheering crowd, I feel really proud. And that is the end. This one also has some amazing back matter. I love when books have awesome back matter. So this has some basic stuff about pride and gender identity. There's a little find the flags. You can try and find the flags throughout the books. And something I really like about this one is that on the next page, there's like stuff about what if you don't like parades? What if you have what Marley experiences, which is sensory sensitivities? There are a lot of people that like a parade is not the main thing that they want to do during Pride. And so I really like this book because I feel like it's going to make a lot of people feel seen and hopefully maybe give some people some advice on if they want to try to do a Pride parade themselves this year. There's one this weekend, a big one in Chicago. So that is the end. And that one was Marley's Pride by Joelle Retner and Deanne Wiley. Well, that is just about all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for Lunchtime Listens at Storytime for Adults. I had a lot of fun. If you like these books, put them on hold. You can check them out from the Deerfield Public Library. We also have some displays up in the library of other Pride books if that's what you're interested in. They'll be up for another week while we're still in June. So come and check those out, but you can always ask us for those books. We know them all. So yeah, I think that is all I have for you. The recording for this, if you missed anything or if you want to reread anything, the recording for this will be up on our YouTube channel by Thursday. And Anne will be back next week to read a little more Genji. So with that, thanks for joining. Bye.